Hello, and welcome to episode 10 of Weeds for the 17th of February 2007. Not WeDS, Weeds. I'm Ben.
I'm Manny.
I'm James.
And whether you're at home, at school, at work, or galloping around Hyrule on horseback, this is the best Nintendo podcast for news, reviews, and discussion delivered straight to your hard drive. And here's James with this week's top Nintendo news stories, live and unrehearsed.
This week in the news, a surprising addition to the Wii channels is launched, Nintendo warns parents and retailers about Manhunt 2's age rating, DS and Wii top another Japanese poll, and Miyamoto's wife discovers computer games. During a recent interview with the American news network CNN, Shigeru Miyamoto revealed that he has finally convinced his wife to play a few computer games, starting with the Nintendo DS. He said, "My wife does not play any kind of games. I have tried to make her interested with various games like Tetris, but she has never showed interest until recently. But we're beginning to tear down the walls, starting with the Nintendo DS games. It was fun to watch." On Nintendo's policy with female gamers, Shixi said, "Although we have not gathered figures about this, I think games such as Wii Sports can interest women. Hopefully women will be able to enjoy games more. I think our target will be mothers." Following the announcement of Manhunt 2, Nintendo has called for parents and retailers to be aware of age ratings when buying or selling mature-rated games. A UK spokesperson for Nintendo supported the decision to bring the controversial sequel to Wii, saying, "All games for the Nintendo platforms are rated by the responsible authorities to ensure that minors are not exposed to games that are unsuitable for their particular age group, and we want to emphasise the need for all users, especially parents and retailers, to be aware of the appropriate age rating before selling or buying a game." He also said that parents concerned about their children should utilise the pin-operated parental control features built into the Wii. With the world analysing how many consoles were sold, weekly Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu carried out a poll to see which was most played. While the DS is the biggest selling system all over the 2006 holiday period, Wii was the most played system, receiving 244 votes, while DS only got 185. There was close competition between PS2 and Xbox 360 with 148 and 146 votes respectively, and PS3 didn't even place in the top 5, despite being the fourth best-selling piece of hardware for the period, beaten by the DS, Wii and PSP. But of course the biggest news this story... Oh, by God almighty, I'll tell you what, I'll leave that one, we'll talk about it later. That was the news, I cannot believe I fucked that up. Sorry.
Oh dear.
That was awesome.
Well, you know...
The last story isn't important because we'll chat about it later anyway. Oh God.
Yeah, definitely. Announcements. Thomas sent here due to the fact that he's in London. His parents took him out, and he just sent me a text saying he was in London, so I couldn't record. Manny wasn't going to be here, but he is now, thank God, because can't do a Weeds without Manny, can you?
It's not possible, no.
No. And remember, you can contact us at weedspodcast@gmail.com, as well as visiting the forums at www.wedsforum.com, because, we seem to, we say it at the end of every single episode, Gmail, forums, and no one sends us any emails anymore. We're getting lonely.
We're awfully lonely out here. Come talk to us, please.
Yeah, we're not anywhere. We're just out here in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of nothing, recording Weeds for you. But yeah, we've got a new section to sort of talk about or do this week, and it is, what games have we been playing this week? So we're all gonna sort of go around the table and tell the listeners what we've been playing, any important events that took place or whatever. So I'm gonna start. This week I've been playing Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. Not so much as I was playing when I first got it, but still been having a few downhill races.
What are you thinking of it now then?
It's not as gripping as it first was, but no game ever is. But yeah, it's still one of the best games out on the Wii, I'd say so far. Just pure fast-paced, boom, straight downhill. I think it might have made it not as difficult, but if they took out the crashing feature, so if you hit something you crash, that would have just made it would just made it so pure. There wouldn't have been no downtime or anything. You've just been, racing. But definitely
I like the way that like when you crash, like you got to shake the controller really, really fast to like get back.
Yeah, to get up. They've incorporated some good features for the Wii. The tilt sensor and stuff like that.
Features that we used on the DS version but didn't work well. Like remember that meter they had, which kind of like you spaz out and you break your board and you get some points. They got rid of that, thank God.
Yeah. I know. But I suppose on this, it isn't a Tony Hawk's game. It's just, I suppose you could say, it's SSX with skateboards. So
for me, it's better than SSX. SSX is too slow moving.
Well, I've never played it, so I can't really say. But
and I love grinding. The amount of grinding you can do on Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam is insane.
I know, and when you're playing a character like one that has good balance, like Tiffany or I suppose you could say Tony, it's just you can practically grind the entire way down the track. Keep switching places to grind.
I like the way you can like wall plant off like statues and stuff and skip whole sections of a track.
You mean stickers?
Yeah, sticker
slap. Yeah,
that's the sticker. That's good.
That's good. I definitely recommend picking this game up if you've got the money because it's definitely worth playing. One of the best Wii games out so far. That turned out into a little.
I don't know why it was reviewed so bad. That game. It's confusing.
Was it? Tony,
it got like 6s and 7s and overall like 50-60%, and I don't think it's that bad.
Oh right, no. I think it's good, but I went to this in the middle of the week because it's half term. I went to this big video gaming fest at this place, and we had like a huge 50 whatever inch plasma TV, and I took my Wii there and we hooked it up, and we were just playing Wii Sports and Red Steel Killer Mode. Oh, it was insane. Tony Hawk's WarioWare. We played that like WarioWare 8-player. That was mental. That was.
How did it differ playing on a bigger screen? Did it make any difference?
Not really. I just thought I'd mention the fact that we were playing on a big screen.
Did you play 4-player Red Steel?
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been
Killer.
So cool.
Killer. Yeah, it's like.
I haven't played that mode yet.
Yeah.
How does it work?
Oh my God. You need to play that, man. That's like the whole point of Red Steel multiplayer. It's like you press the 2 button to pick up the phone. It like vibrates and rings, and then it'll be like kill the cook with the shotgun. So you have to go and get the shotgun, and then find the cook and kill him. Or it might
that sounds pretty neat.
It might be protect the karateka without dying yourself or something like that. It's good. And if you're playing 4-player, everyone gets different missions, and it's good. It's good gameplay. It's good fun.
So
they should have incorporated that in the single. They didn't incorporate that in the single player. Remember when the phone rings and you press A or
you
press A?
Keep on wanting to answer the phone.
I think everyone did.
So what have you been playing, Manny, this week?
I've been playing bits and bobs, really. I've been playing a lot of Monkey Ball. I've nearly completed that. I'm on the last level. It's getting really, really, really hard. Really hard as in you're on one level for like 3 hours. You want to tear your hair out. And your teeth.
I was never good at Monkey Ball.
Wouldn't look too great after that, but yeah. Oh God, they have no sides at all. It just gets really insane. I've also been playing. I played some Wii Sports with my dad. My dad beat me at bowling. That was fun. I'm trying to get my dad to start playing it. I think he enjoyed it. I think we'll have another session today about 4 o'clock, just with our neighbours. And I went back to Wario. I've been playing a lot actually. I went back to WarioWare and did the analog and the nunchuck and the Wiimote minigames, which I didn't get around to doing the first time. Oh, sorry, my phone's ringing. Just go to James for a sec.
Okay, James.
Well, this week I actually defected. I played an Xbox 360 this week. I'm really sorry, but only because I went on a press event in London to play the Shivering Isles expansion pack for Oblivion. So it's not out until mid-March, and I got to play it, and it's absolutely brilliant. I love Oblivion, and the Shivering Isles is fantastic. It just gives you this whole new continent to look at, to explore. And I'm not going to go into like too much detail, obviously, because I only played it shortly. But the one thing that I enjoyed the most was the fact that all the people are voice acted, and the one person you go you have to the quest I did, you have to go and meet the king, Lord Sheogorath, who's this mad Scotsman, and he's brilliant because you go up to him and you say, right, you've got a list of topics and you pick the topic you want to tell him, and you ask him about his name. You click Sheogorath and he goes, "Aye, that is me. I am he. Or am I? There were others, weren't there?" It's Absolutely. I love it.
That sounds mad.
What is is Oblivion out for PC?
It's PC and
Yeah.
Xbox 360, and it will be PS3 soon. I was meant to be playing the PS3 version.
Because I know me and Manny like next year.
Wait, the expansion is coming on the PC, on the PS3.
No, the normal Oblivion is coming out on PS3. The expansion is coming on Xbox 360 and PC.
But when will the expansion come to PlayStation?
No idea. I don't think there are any plans to bring it over at this moment.
But listen, how does an expansion work on the 360? Does it like upload it to the hard drive, or how does it?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if you buy a new version of the game or you just download it, but don't know.
Yeah, because I know me and Manny are getting 360s sometime, aren't we? Don't know when, but
Yeah, definitely.
because we don't hate Xbox.
No, I
Xbox is
know.
good. It's just
No, we like games. I mean, we don't want to miss out on games. Just as long as it doesn't cost us 4 arms and 5 legs.
yeah, definitely. And I forgot to say, I've been playing some Elite Beat Agents. I'm on the last level of Sweating, Jumping Jack Flash, and it's hard. It is.
I just find that I can't play that game no more. It's such a good game, but my touchscreen, I need to get a DS Lite. I'm gonna buy the real game when it comes out, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've like got to the last part, but it keeps stumping me, and I can't do it, but I'm sure I'll finish it one day. And
How far do you get through? Because I was watching it on that YouTube video, and it looked like you couldn't even get past the first bit.
Yeah, I get to the part where you have to touch, there's like about 13 dots all in a row, and it's like tap, 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 all in a row.
But it's all like that. What level, like what? You know, there's like sections, there's 4 sections. What section?
Oh, I think it's towards the end of the second section.
Oh, okay.
No, they're like all really cramped together, but yeah, it's hard, it's intense. And of course World of Warcraft, I've been playing that. Not so much as I usually do, I'll be doing other things, but yeah. So, that was our what games we've been playing this week.
But on Virtual Console I've been playing Super Mario World. Has anyone been playing that?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't downloaded that yet. I have never had a copy of it. The closest I've come to playing that is playing it on Virgin Airways on the way back from New York.
Oh, you need that game. It's brilliant.
And as soon as I buy some more Wii points, I will download it.
Yeah, I also got Kirby's Adventure today for the Virtual Console. I haven't really had a chance to play it though.
Ben, you've just got like loads of games and you haven't even completed any of them.
So I'm one of the people who never completes games. Never. I mean, I haven't finished Twilight Princess. I can't be bothered. I just got bored. It's like, no. But yeah, it doesn't matter. We all play games differently.
Anyway, what's the main discussion?
Yeah, the main discussion this week is how secretive are Nintendo, and is this a good thing? So, we're going to go through some points. So, first of all, did they need to be so secretive about a simple poll channel, like, the Everybody Votes channel? Because nobody knew about that, did they? I mean...
So that was the news story I mucked up this week. The biggest news story this week is that they've released a new Everybody Votes channel, and I imagine everyone knows about this by now. But, yeah, it is just a poll channel. All you do, I got the message, I woke up, there was a blue light out of my Wii, and I thought, yes, a new channel. Looked on, it goes, the Everybody Votes channel. I thought, what the hell? And you download it, and all it is you get, 2 or 3 questions a day, or 2 or 3 questions every 2-3 days, and you just answer what you want, and what you think everyone else wants, and that's it. I'm not that impressed with this.
Oh, I like it. I think it's... we're going to talk about this later. This isn't the focus of the main topic, but I think it's good. I don't see a reason not to like it. At first, I thought it was pointless, but now I can see that, like, it predicts. I mean, it shows you like what you tuned in with and how far you are from popular opinion and stuff like that.
What I think is really cool is like when you look at the polls and then you go to like the worldwide results, you can see like what countries how they did, like what people think in Austria, what people think in Switzerland.
Yeah, I like
Brazil.
that. I thought that was amazing.
And I really like that because it seemed like everyone in Europe likes cats and everyone outside of Europe likes dogs.
Yeah, it shows like Guatemala love dogs, or like
yeah, totally.
Like cats, and then it went down the list, and gradually more and more people like cats and less people like dogs.
To be fair, dogs are probably on the menu in Guatemala.
And surprisingly, only a small percentage of only a little bit more percentage of males like dogs than females like dogs. Which is weird. I thought more females would like cats.
Yeah. But Anyway, we're not talking about Everybody Votes now. We're talking about the fact that they were so secretive. I mean,
I think it's quite a good thing because, like, you know, it does show that they can still surprise us. No one knew this was coming. I mean, we've had a massive topic on the forums ourselves, like trying to predict what the next channel will be, and no one had a clue. No one had an absolute clue. They've not mentioned anything, and then all of a sudden, just one morning, bang, a new channel. I think it's good that they can still surprise us. It means that the Wii has got far more up its sleeve than anything. Because the trouble is, I mean, like, what I worked out the other day. I had my Wii since launch day. It's only been about 2 months and 10-ish days since the Wii came out, but already people think they know everything about. Already, it feels like the initial rush is gone, and we don't have anything to look forward to but other games. But this proves otherwise. This proves that they can do absolutely anything, and we will not know about it.
Yeah, what they want to see is they want to see if, like, a simple channel like this will, like, get us excited, because, like, I mean, we've been predicting all these channels for, like, a long time, haven't we? Stock channel and the demo channel, and they just come out with this Everybody Votes channel, and everyone's just like, what?
Yeah, didn't you say something on one of the podcasts, Manny? Like, no matter what, we will not be. I mean, it's like, no matter what, we won't be able to predict what Nintendo are going to do next, because I don't think anyone would have even thought of this poll channel.
No, not at all.
It's something you don't think.
It's so out there. It's so. The thing is, it's also thingy for the demographic, because, like, us being on forums and stuff, like Nintendo fans always on forums and stuff, and there's so many polls, isn't it? We're always doing polls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they have jumped on the internet bandwagon. I mean, like, if you think about it, there's loads of sites, blogthings.com, Quizilla.com. Loads of people love doing those quizzes. Things like you answer like 4 questions and it tells you which X-Man you are. They're jumping on the internet bandwagon because you know that everyone loves polls. Everyone's MySpace and live journals are filled with quizzes and polls and crap like that. And it's good to see that they see what is going down well on the internet. I think this is like part of preparing themselves for the online world.
Yeah, but I mean, do gamers like to be surprised, or do they like to?
Oh yeah, I think they do. But I think above all, Nintendo fans love to be surprised. I've been on loads of forums and stuff. PlayStation, they don't try and guess things too much, and they don't expect like, oh, something big's going to happen. Whereas Nintendo's like, Megaton. You know, we're always looking for the next way that Nintendo's going to surprise us and make us just smile.
But yeah, I'd rather be surprised like this than be like told, oh, we've got this Wiimote, and then you have to wait another 6 or 7 months before you get it. I'd rather just be given it, bang, you've got it, and it's like, what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think. Listen, now that this has been released, do you think that people will sort of not be as surprised if a new channel comes out because they know that Nintendo are going to surprise us, sort of thing? So
yeah, there is that factor of the fact that now that we don't know what Nintendo... When something is so unpredictable, you can predict that you won't be able to predict it. If that makes any sense. You know you're not going to be... you're going to be surprised, so it takes away the surprise.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
But now, like, before we were expecting to hear on it off a blog that, you know, channel's coming. And now we're going to be on edge because we don't know when it's going to come. And every kind of, like, special day, like, you know, Easter Sunday or whatever, we're going to be expecting, like, oh, something could come down the pipeline to us.
I have to say, in this day and age, like, certainly with the internet and how widespreading the internet is, it's impressive that Nintendo have managed to keep this a secret. Regardless of whether or not they should have kept it a secret, it's impressive that they've done so, because everything is leaked on the internet nowadays. Everything. I mean, like, the voice-over IP phone that at the moment, like, that Manny mentioned at the end of I think it was episode 8 or episode 9. Manny mentioned it on the podcast. Like, the Wii phone that's going around at the moment, that's just based on a patent, which is protected. It's meant to be like, it's a patent application that people shouldn't have access to, but someone has found it, leaked it onto the internet, and now the entire world is, you know, speculating about it.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm so surprised about. I mean, how? Because there always seems to be moles in the companies and people who leak information. I mean, how did they keep it a secret? It's like nobody knew about it except the people who made it. You know, nobody even in Nintendo knew about this channel except the people who were going to release it and create it and stuff.
I've come to a conclusion that Nintendo, when they want to keep a secret, they keep that secret. If something kind of leaks out, then it's leaked out on purpose. It's not like it happened by accident. Look at Zelda, like, in 2004, we were like, oh, Wind Waker 2's coming, and everyone was expecting a cel-shaded Zelda to turn up at E3. And nothing came up. Then at the end of the day, Reggie was like, oh, by the way, I want to introduce you to one new world on Nintendo GameCube. And Twilight Princess was shown, and the whole world went mad.
But at E3, I would say that's where Nintendo can be too secretive. A classic example is E3 2005 was the first year we was meant to see the Wii, back when it was Revolution. And at E3 2005, you had the Xbox 360, the PS3 were both there, boasting all their features, showing loads of gameplay. And all we got was Satoru Iwata walking out onto a stage with a box in his hand. And that was all we saw of the console. They didn't tell us anything about the games. We saw no game shots, nothing. E3's the biggest event, or was anyway, but it was before they've changed it. But E3 was, at that time, the biggest gaming event in the calendar. And they completely underplayed their next generation console, which was something that I can now see why they did it, but I think I was really dangerous.
No, but I think they had some kind of plan to show something, but then the what do you call it? The Nintendo On hype thing just must have amazed them, because they were like, what the hell? And anything that they shown at that point would have been disappointing to us. Had they showed us the Wiimote then, we would have went, oh, what the hell? And everyone would have been turned off it. Everyone would have been, oh, virtual reality's got to be good. They needed it to sink in that virtual reality was not going to happen, and it wasn't a good idea then to unveil the Wiimote, and that's exactly what they did.
And also, if they'd have told everyone about the Wiimote at E3 2005, don't you think that, like, Sony and possibly Xbox would have then thought, hey, this whole motion sensing controller and everything is, looks pretty, a good idea. Let's steal it. Let's have that as well.
And so, admittedly, 2005 was far too early to be revealing the motion sensing control, because Xbox 360 and PS3 were both still in early development phase. I mean, they waited all the way until November 2005 for the Tokyo Game Show and revealed the motion sensing then, and yet PlayStation still managed to get in the 6-axis control. Now, I'm not flaming PlayStation, I'm not, but I have read that Lair, which is the biggest, is the only game that really uses the 6-axis control. The people who made Lair had 2 weeks before E3 2006 to put in the motion sensing control. That is not something you've had planned all along, Sony.
Yeah.
But the company that make that, Factor 5, I've heard that Lair was originally Pilot Wings for the GameCube. I don't know if you know that. And they were going to make a motion control for the GameCube, but then Nintendo decided not to, and that's why they created a whole console around it instead of just making it peripheral for the GameCube.
I did not know that.
I mean, if you remember, like, Matt Casamassina gave us loads of hints that there was some kind of new control method coming, and that it was going to involve Pilot Wings.
And also, if you listen, if they'd have released the Wiimote in 2005, don't you think the hype would have sort of run out by 2007?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think they were quite good with the Wiimote, the being secretive there. Like, being secretive there actually did work in their favour, because the only people who knew how the Wiimote worked were the press, and all they could do was write about it. They couldn't show you. There were no DVDs like on magazines saying, "Oh yeah, watch this. This is us playing the Wii." I mean, the summer was really like E3. This 2006 was really the first time we got to see how it really worked. I mean, even when they revealed the motion sensing control, they didn't actually show any games. All they showed were people swinging the remotes around. So it just hinted. It really did make your mouth water.
I remember that. That trailer was
Can you think of any other company that is as secretive as Nintendo? Because I can, and I just want to know if you lot can.
The only one I can think of is Rare.
Rare are secretive, but like Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto, how secretive are they with that?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And we never know anything about it till the last month.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, but that's a completely different scale. One game, or one series of games, compared to a console. A console, if you're going to... I mean, certainly, towards the tail end of the GameCube generation, Nintendo were faltering, and they really needed to come back at 360 PS3. That's why E3 2005 was so important, because Nintendo really needed to come back at the two of them and show that Nintendo still know what they're doing. And they didn't. All they came out with was this box. And I know a lot of people lost faith in Nintendo that summer. I've bored you all into a coma.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that.
I think
oh shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, oh my god. Oh well.
I'm just picking you off one by one with my words. I'm killing you softly with my words.
No, I totally heard what you're saying, but I was trying to think of what I was going to say as well, because it was about that.
Well...
I don't think their secretiveness helps them. They just need to know that, like, they can be secretive with us, but then once the console's out and stuff, they need to start advertising. And I think the marketing's going well at the moment.
I think
the Wii and the DS have done very well.
I think the reason they're being so secretive about everything is because they're feeling so vulnerable. And they are in the most vulnerable position in the games industry. The three console people at the moment are Nintendo, Sony and Microsoft. And Sony and Microsoft have both got huge electronics conglomerates behind them. You know, Microsoft's got Bill Gates. If he loses a little bit of money on his Xbox, he's still got Windows, Vista, PCs, all that rubbish. Sony, I actually did a news story for InStock this in January. Sony made a loss on the PS3 last year, but because they managed to sell loads of flat screen TVs over Christmas, the company's not in debt. You know, Nintendo don't have that. Nintendo don't have the luxury of, we can just, depend on another department.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty true. But the other department is the handheld. In other words, you could say that is the only other department.
Yeah, but it's still gaming.
From.
Sony has also got a PlayStation, a handheld now, and you can't depend entirely on a handheld gaming because it's still based on games. That's what basically what I'm saying. If Microsoft Games division falters, they've still got the computer software. If Sony's Games division falters, you've still got TVs and radios and everything else. Nintendo has only got games. That's all they got. If it was Nintendo versus Sony. No, not Sony, Sega. If it was Nintendo and Sega, they're both in the same book, but it's not.
And think of this. Let's just say next year Xbox come out with the virtual reality system, whatever. Wouldn't Nintendo just completely just go? Because if they then tried to bring out a virtual reality system, wouldn't they be seen as copying, and everyone would be like, "Oh, now you're just doing what Sony did to you last year," and
yeah, but I think Nintendo's pride would mean they would not copy. Nintendo are very arrogant, pride-based company. They won't copy people, not much anyway.
Yeah, linked to this, I was thinking they need to be so secretive because anything that they come out with, like you said, the motion control, Sony just copy it. Microsoft don't copy it, but Microsoft have wanted to buy Nintendo so many times, and the fact that they've wanted to buy Nintendo so many times makes Nintendo feel like they're still a powerful force in the industry.
Well, I like the movement going over in America. The movement in America is the Wii 60, in that a load of Americans are buying 360s and Wiis and getting both the consoles, and then they don't have to buy PS3 because they've got a big next-gen console, but they've also got the Wii. And I like that idea.
Yeah, definitely. And also the 360 is coming down in price now, isn't it? It's not as much as it was when it was first released. And seeing as over here the PS3 is going to be the last console to be released, it's going to be sort of, left behind in the race.
See, I think Nintendo need to stop being secretive. We've got the Game Developer Conference in March. I think it's March 6th to the 7th. And that's quite a big event because we get a lot of our game info from there. They're already there's a game coming out for the Wii, Destiny of Zorro, and everything we know about that will be revealed at the GDC. Nintendo really need to unleash a can of whoop ass at GDC because if they announce loads of stuff there, it should take the attention away from PS3, which arrives 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more support for the virtual console as well. I think EA will come on board.
Yeah. EA with virtual console? You mean new titles? Or
what?
What do you mean by EA will come on board?
EA will bring virtual console games to the their console games to the virtual console. Because at the moment it's only Nintendo and Sega and stuff. You haven't got much Konami. There isn't much Konami and stuff like that, is it? But they have supported it. But EA haven't. Have you seen any EA games?
But are there really any EA games to be coming out? I know that they're the biggest third-party publisher in the world, but short of the titles they brought out the last generation, which is backwards compatible on Wii anyway, I can't think of anything massive that they'd want to bring out on Virtual Console. I can't think of anything they did in the NES days.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't so big back then, were they?
The trouble is, a lot of the companies that made games back in the days of the NES, the SNES, have not either gone bankrupt or they're not as big as they used to be. Activision used to be like back before the NES was out. Activision had loads of games like Pitfall and all that, and now I think Activision are on the way out. I can't remember if they've gone in the last couple of months, but there's not much coming from Activision anymore.
No, they made Downhill Jam, didn't they? So
Activision are not on their way out. They've made enough money. It's not Activision. It must be some other company you're thinking of.
Yeah, I might be thinking of another company, but I swear Activision isn't as big as it used to be.
But think of this: when do you think that Nintendo?
Activision have the Bond license. They must be big for someone.
Oh yeah, they've just bought the Bond license last year, didn't they? Okay, my apologies. I'm thinking of something else.
But yeah, when do you think the Nintendo are going to start like letting other companies or themselves to make new titles on the Virtual Console?
I don't know. I think that what they need to do is, but again, this is their arrogance and pride. I think what they need to do is release some sort of development software that allows independent game owners, like game makers, to upload their own games to Virtual Console. However, this would automatically draw like comparisons with Xbox's XNA Game Studio, so they don't want to be seen as copying. But I think it would be brilliant if you could make your own Wii games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Wiicade is already showing that, they're already sort of doing this, but, it should be done.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there already. I mean, I know for a fact on the internet somewhere there's a game editor called Zelda Classic, which allows you to make any NES, SNES or Game Boy game, like Zelda game of your own. You can make your own dungeons, make your own overworld. That would be easy enough to bring over to the Wii. You could just download it and work on it there, or download finished games and play them on your Wii with either the Classic controller, the remote, whatever.
I've got to try that later. Is it still on the internet, this Zelda Classic?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Google Zelda Classic and you'll find it. I used to do it myself, but my computer crashed, so I might try it now on my laptop, because my laptop's better than my old computer used to be.
Wow, sounds interesting. Can't wait for that. So yeah, main discussion. Anything else to say before we move on, or is that it?
No, I think the general consensus is they're secretive, but they're a little too secretive.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on. This week we have a Wii View, which is a review of Star Fox Command for the DS, and it's going to be reviewed by James, who bought it a few days ago. So, fire away, James.
Right, Star Fox Command, for those who have not played it, is basically the first handheld version of the Star Fox series, which has been going since the days of the Super NES. It's based It's based most closely on Star Fox 64, or Lilac Wars as it was known over here, in that it uses the all-range mode rather than on rails. The original Star Fox and most of Lilac Wars levels were on rails, in that you just fly from one point to the other. All you do is move your spaceship around the screen and shoot at things. This time round you have to actually fly around an arena and take down enemies. Each battle you have to do, rather than doing different levels, each planet has got a series of missions, and each mission has got a series of battles. What happens is, when you go into each mission, you have a map of the area. Around the map are various little enemy icons. If you fly your ship into one of those enemy icons, you start a battle, and in that battle you have to take out a certain number of a certain type of ship to to destroy that enemy, and you have to wipe out the enemy on each map before you can progress. In between each mission, like when you're on the map screen, you can actually draw with the stylus. You can draw the path of your ship, and that's actually quite good. The idea is it's meant to be strategy. That's what Command is all about. It's about the strategy element. You have to think about where the other ships are going to try and fly, because they're going to try and destroy the Great Fox, which is your mothership. You have to think where they're going to try and fly, how you can intercept them, and also how you're going to get to the enemy bases so you can destroy those. The visuals are just brilliant. For a DS title, it's like Super Mario 64 was an upgraded version of the 64 version. This is an upgraded Star Fox 64. The graphics are pretty damn good. The trouble is, a lot of the arenas are very, very foggy. So when you're looking for your enemy, they're actually dead ahead of you, but you can't see them for the fog. Another visual problem is that your spaceship, while it's lovely, your spaceship is lovely, but it's too close to the screen. So you sometimes can't see because your own spaceship is in the way. Controls are nice. You know, you just use a stylus to, like, on the strategy elements, you use the stylus to direct your ship. When you're in the actual battles, you use your stylus, like, move your pen to the top to dip down, move your pen to the bottom to pull up, wiggle the stylus, like, scratch the stylus side to side to do a barrel roll. You can actually, like, on the touchscreen, there's an interface where you've got the buttons for somersault and turn around, and then there's the button for a bomb. You click and drag the bomb onto the map where you want it to go off. So that's quite good. The only thing I don't like about the game is each battle has a time limit. So you have 150 seconds to kill all the enemies. Now, while that's quite simple, and you think, yeah, I can take as much time as I want, you take, say you've got 150 seconds, you take 40 seconds or so to kill, like, to finish one battle. When you go to the next battle, you have 40 less seconds, which means by the time you get to the boss, you are panicking and trying to shoot. The only way to extend time is to collect items that extend your time by 25 seconds, or if you barrel roll when people are firing at you, you would get like 2 seconds for every, an extra 2 seconds for every enemy bolt that you deflect. The trouble is barrel rolling throws off your ability to shoot entirely. Overall, I mean, like, the storyline's very much the same as any other Star Fox title. You go through, you get to choose your path through the solar system, like doing different missions, depending on how well you did in the battles. And that means that, like, there's a load of different ways of doing it. There are actually 9 different endings. Multiplayer is going to be brilliant. You can either do like 4-player dogfights over wireless with like your mates, or you can do up to 4-player dogfights over the internet, over Wi-Fi, which I've yet to experience, but I think that would be absolutely fantastic. And then it's just the attention to detail as well. As, like, there's silly things like on the original Star Fox on the SNES and on Lilac Wars, if you fiddle with the options, basically, like, Fox and Peppy all speak like in gibberish, and you can actually record your own gibberish. They'll, like, if you go into the options, they ask you a few questions, and you answer them into the microphone, and then it chops your speech up and makes each character have your voice when you're gibberish. It's an all-round title. If you're a good Star Fox fan, you need to pick it up, because it is a fantastic addition to the series. It tries something new, but it does hark back to the old ones. If you're new to the series, certainly give it a go. The time system is a little frustrating, but as soon as you get used to it, it becomes a lot easier, and it's easy enough to complete. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good game. Basically, it's not a sequel to Star Fox Assault, which Namco made. It's more a sequel to Star Fox, the original.
Yeah,
because it's just like Star Fox 2, because I played that on emulator, because it wasn't released, but I don't know, there was ROMs on the net, and I played it, and it was just like all range mode, where it's just like a big map, and it's not on rails. So I think it is like a sequel to Star Fox.
Yeah, it's based closely on Star Fox 2, which was obviously unreleased, and Lilac Wars. There's a lot of Lilac Wars in it, but the storyline-wise, I think it is the sequel to Assault, because all the characters from Assault return. Some bloke called Oikoni that I don't know because I haven't played Assault. The Star Wolf team has changed since the 64 version, so yeah, it's just fantastic.
Did you like the missile?
Yeah, the missile
mechanic.
The missile bits are good. Every now and then, like, the enemy will fire a missile at the Great Fox, and it's quite slow moving, which is stupid because it's a missile. But you have to fly into a car to destroy it. And when you get in there, it is just like it does go back to the old Lilac Wars and Star Fox in that it's on rails. You're following this missile on its slipstream, and you have to fly through these beacons, which are basically these big red squares. And if you miss a beacon, obviously you fail. But if you've got to fly through the beacons, which keeps speeding you up, and then you've got to shoot down the missile while trying to fly. And it can be, when you look at it,
it's pretty
intense.
It's
going to be a bit fiddly, but it is brilliant. It's fantastic. It does work. There's also, like, actually, that's a point I forgot. When you're on the maps, there are certain enemies who are actually like motherships. Do you remember, like, on Lilac Wars, you had that huge mothership over Katina? There's now like 3 or 4 of those on each level, and to kill those, all you have to do is kill the specific enemies it asks you to kill, and then you get these beacons again, these big red squares. You fly through these using, and then if you're in a barrel roll when you get to the last one, you smack into the mothership and destroy it, and it's fantastic.
Total homage to Independence Day.
Of course, but it is a good film to pay homage to.
So yeah, Star Fox Command, go pick it up. If you were impressed by James' review, go pick it up anyway if you weren't, because it's a good game.
I heartily recommend it. Even if you just rent it or borrow it off a mate, I heartily recommend it.
Yeah, it's the Wi-Fi. Is the best part of it. I would say it's just so much fun. But yeah, moving on. Updates. Well, there's obviously been one major update for the Wii this week, and that is the Everybody Votes channel. Now we've talked about this a bit in the main discussion, but we'll talk about it some more now. So, Everybody Votes channel. What did you think when you first started this up?
I thought it was a little bit pointless, but I can actually now see what it's doing. It's basically a good way of doing feedback. Now the press and the internet always do polls did you like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl? Yes, no. Will you buy Mario Galaxy? Yes, no. But Nintendo have to depend on everyone else. Now they're going to get feedback direct from Wii owners. I think it's just a thinly disguised feedback system.
I mean, at the moment, there's only some really stupid questions like, do you prefer dogs or cats? Do you prefer your eggs boiled or fried? And stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sure later on there's going to be some more interesting questions. And like James said, it's just a disguised feedback system for Nintendo. But
I like the way you can say suggest a poll. You suggest a poll and you put your two answers, and that might come up later on. They might put that on for everyone to vote for.
I was a little disappointed in that.
One day, if that happens, that would be mad.
Imagine
seeing a poll up there.
Because I thought, if you're just suggesting questions, there's no guarantee that you're going to have your question used. But that does make sense in that any little kid can sign on and say, do you like big tits? Yes, you know. It's parental control.
But it's not. It is. But it's even worse than that, because it's not like it's parental control. There is a very minor chance that it's going to ever come up. It's not like there's a 50% chance. It's very, there's a very small chance that your poll will ever actually make it onto the system.
I'm going to say they limit you to one suggestion per day. So every Wii owner can only suggest one question per day. So if there's there was 1.8 million Wii's sold worldwide earlier in January, that means you're only going to get 1.8 million questions per day. But that's still a lot. How the hell are you going to get your question out of 1.8 million chosen?
Exactly, yeah.
No, but it also shows Nintendo how many people are actually online and how many are using the Wi-Fi connection.
Like I say, it's partly feedback. It's also expanding their demographic. They're also seeing, they're seeing who's using the online channels, how many people are male, how many people are female, whether or not the males prefer this sort of channel or the females prefer this sort of channel. So yeah. Also,
they could basically see the kind of age you are as well, because depending on what kind of votes you suggest, maybe in the next 2 weeks we might get stuff more, based on current affairs. So it'll show that more adults may be using it or whatever.
Yeah. I like the music for it. The music's good. It's
like a game show. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when you're looking at the results of a poll, it's like, and the results are in, and then you get to see there's those tiny little me's running across the screen, getting in line.
Am I the only one who thinks that when your me whips out his lollipop, showing which colour he's going to predict, am I the only one who thinks he looks more than a little camp?
Yeah,
that's Nintendo. It's always look camp. Look on WarioWare when you see your Mii's. Even the Mii channel, everyone looks camp.
On Wii Sports, Wii Play, Mii channel, they all look cheesy, but this guy looks really camp. I don't know. It's just, he looks a little bit Just Jack. You know what I mean?
I guess it's going with the music as well. The music is totally camp.
And the fact that the only choices are green or pink.
Yeah, he's like a really lime green and a foul pink colour. But
yeah, why isn't it blue and pink?
Because that suggests boy and girl, whereas green and pink is more. Yeah, why not have black and white?
Yeah, pink is neutral.
That's racist, I suppose.
Perhaps they're just expanding their demographic by appealing to the homosexual community.
Maybe so. But yeah,
but don't forget they could still update this channel with other stuff.
Yeah, maybe they could have your choice of colours later on. You could choose what colours you want, and
I mean, I reckon the Wii will become quite customisable after a few updates. I think, I mean, things like, I reckon they might be bringing in things like, you can choose your own menu colours, you can have wallpaper on your menu. I mean, I think eventually we should be able to, like, customise what our Wii menu looks like.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't see why not. It's all these little things that make it more. It makes it more like your Wii, doesn't it? It makes it.
They could even do like a little update where you download like a channel, like an overall channel that comes up before the Wii menu that takes the shape of an Animal Crossing house. So you can like download items, or you can receive items. Every time you complete the game, you could receive an item to put in your room. So every time you turn it on, basically the inside of your telly is a room, and then you just click on like the telly in this room. So there'd be a little like computerized television in this room, and you click on that and you go to the Wii menu. I think that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, and it also it's just like these kind of things appeal to people because the customising thing is in at the moment, isn't it? Or it's always been in. It's just like it's like on The Sims 2. The fact that you can build your own house, or on Animal Crossing where you can customise your own house.
Well, even on the Nintendo Europe site, you can now, if you're a VIP member, i.e. if you've registered a Nintendo product, you can download, you can spend your points, your star points, on furniture for your den, which is like an online room. Not that you can do it.
Yeah, but I've wasted points on that. But how do you even like use these things that you bought? I bought a lava lamp and something else.
I don't know. I haven't bought anything for it.
Exactly. It's just been like a waste of points for me because,
I'm trying to get you to waste your points as quickly as possible before they start dishing out free Wii points.
Yeah.
Well, there better be some kind of skin system because Xbox Live has that. I mean, Xbox has that. Sorry. On like the dashboard, you can download wallpapers and stuff and change it so it looks different. Like you can have a Halo one or a Cameo one, etc.
Yeah.
I mean, I want, like the other day I was on Wi-Fi connection, but it wasn't connecting, and I just want a little meter in the corner just showing me how strong my Wi-Fi connection is. That'd be good because that'd be good, like a phone.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's the Everybody Votes channel. Definitely go and obviously you should have downloaded it if you got the internet, but
go and vote.
Go and vote, yeah.
Vote Manny. Oh no, wait, sorry.
Yeah. So onto the online section. The Week 8 playtest of the week is Missile 3D, and this is the best game on the Week 8 at the moment. It's just superb. It looks good. It plays good. Not so much on the Wii. I'd play it on the computer if you can because on the Wii it plays kind of crappy. But
I didn't try it out on the Wii. What's it like?
Well, the only problem is you've got your hand there, and you're automatically sort of wanting to put the hand through the.
First, explain what the game is, because these guys are going to be able to.
Okay, right. So basically, you're guiding a missile through a thin tunnel, and there's obstacles every so often, like rotating things with gaps in, and you have to. It's weird because your mouse isn't there, or there isn't a pointer or anything. You just sort of move your mouse, and the screen moves to fit through the gap, and it's